This time on Pole Barn Garage, we're reviving this 1965 Ford Econoline pickup truck. We're going to make it drive and do truck things again as a useful, utilitarian, highly functional little machine like the Ford Econoline pickup was. Now, what is the Ford Econoline pickup? Well, it's a Ford Econoline van with the van part moved up to here and a pickup bed created. Voila, instant truck. This is a forward control chassis, meaning you sit on top or slightly in front of the front wheels. Steering wheel there, front wheels here. It's kind of like driving a little Cushman around. This little truck was made for one purpose. That was to move things from point A to point B and do it as efficiently as possible and as cheaply as possible. You'll note that there's nothing really fancy here other than the optional ventilation it has. You know, they are very prone for that kind of thing, but there's not a lot going on here, right? You'll note that the doors open 90 degrees for easy access. They're retained with straps rather than a spring. You do actually have a lot of space inside of these, but that's because the engine is right here. You have to contain the little 170, or maybe it's a 200, I forgot, 6-cylinder. It's a 3-speed stick. That doesn't feel very good already. I shouldn't have started touching things yet. Yep, something's not connected. That's okay, we'll get there. You might notice the 5 windows on this truck. That is kind of an option. In a civilian truck, that would have been a spring special, and every one of them was like this shade of orange or red. Well, not this one. This is actually an Air Force truck. That's where the plate would have been, and the guy I bought it from couldn't find it. But you can see right there, Air Force stuff for sure. This vehicle will not be placed in motion until all seat belts are properly fastened by order of the Chief of Staff, United States Air Force. Open door to get heat. Ah, fancy. Now, as far as I'm aware, this truck has not driven in quite some time, probably close to 20 years if I had to guess. There's a lot of stuff in it. We should unpack it, see what goes to it, what goes to somebody's lawnmower, and then we can kind of get a plan of attack going. Oh yeah, it's for a sandblaster. That's a drag link for this, I think. We'll take a really long one. Heater hoses, those are pretty junk. Part of a fishing rod. We're making out. Well, this seat is quick release, that's handy. It's got a battery in it. There's a radiator. That's not a great sign. Oh, great. Shifter linkage stuff. Plugs, wires, an old cap. I was doing something to this. I'll have to get the hood, quote unquote, open to really find out. Yes, back here we have one of the most horrible things man has ever conceived. Wet shag carpeting. Ah, man. It would seem after its military service, it led a life as a bit of a free spirit. Relatively low amount of poop, so I'll take my wins where I can get them. Yeah, this is actually fairly gross, and there's less truck here than I originally thought. These seats don't fold, so I'll have to unbolt that seat so we can clean out back there. Normally I just jump right into getting it running, but since I have to work in here, I want to, you know, I don't know, the poop and the stuff is, but it ain't good for you. If I discover that there's even less truck here than I thought, it is going to dictate how much I care proportionally with the amount of truck remaining. Some sort of miracle that this actually came out. Now, you might notice that the construction of this seat really more closely resembles patio furniture than an automotive seat. And that's because it's a manly truck. We die like men when we wreck our manly truck. Yeah, get the stinky shag out of here. At least they were nice enough to put the underlayment in too. Ugh. You know, I gotta tell you, this side of the truck is a lot better. It's not bad. I mean, I'm going to continue to ignore this patch that's riveted over the floor. Oh no, it's poorly welded, even better. These trucks are so prone to rust. They're not particularly well made. Alright, let's get under there. What do we got? Gotta get rid of that. That's gross. And yeah, I think that's a 170. It is a 65, so it's got an alternator. That's really nice to see. We got... Okay. Well, the throttle doesn't seem to be hooked to anything. Oh no, here it is. Here, this is the throttle, isn't it? Yeah. This rod that goes all the way up and around. Okay. Well, good. I think it's more or less complete. Well, I might fall through this floor. So further inspection, let's see. We got the lower radiator hose is off. What do we got? Heater hose lopped off there. And then these two are ran together. I don't know what that's about. Did it run coolant underneath the carburetor to help warm it or something? I'm not sure. It does have a PCV valve. No road draft tube on these. The starter's down there. You know, you would think this would make it pretty easy to get to, but it doesn't. Like the fuel pump way down in there. Now what you can do is you can unbolt this whole thing and remove the whole doghouse. We'll remove it if we have to. I'd rather, if I start trying to unbolt that from the floor, it's not going to end well. It's got some oil in it. Black as tar, but it does have oil. Well, just for shits and giggles, let's see if it cranks. The guy before me has conveniently put a lock cylinder in. It's got a battery. It looks kind of new. Oh, yeah. I thought that was a good battery. Looked like brand new. Now, he was trying to get it going. If he was messing with it, maybe he put points and stuff in it. I don't think it's got enough battery to keep it going, but hell, it ran. Maybe I bought a good car. Oh, look at the amount of travel in that. Gonna be pretty scary. We'll remove the radiator, give it a little flush out with the garden hose, thermostat, and just kind of do the basic stuff. Got sucked to put that fuel pump on. Wait, where is the fuel tank in this thing? Is that the fuel? That is the fuel tank. Huh. Well, how about that? I mean, this isn't factory, obviously, but I don't know. What do we? Oh, yeah, that's not good. I can already tell. It's kind of a cool tank, but we don't want to run anything out of that. What about the factory one? We got a cap. Oh, yeah, that doesn't look very good either. There's probably a good reason that somebody, but this tank is 1,000,000 years old, and somebody has already ran into problems with that tank, which is like 2,000,000 years old. So we should probably take their advice and just throw a fuel cell in it or a boat tank or something. I think if I take these 4 out, the radiator will fall out. Quite literally, it might fall right out the bottom. Somebody go ahead and contact the Pope. Tell him I got a miracle to report, because all these bolts are coming out. There's bolts that go this way to hold it on. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. I really would like to flush this radiator out because it doesn't look particularly good in there. So I would like to get it out of the truck so I can flip it upside down and back flush it. Is it going to come out the bottom? Oh, hey, come on. It wants you to take this front piece off and then go that way with it. I don't think we can do that, though. Go ahead and contact the Pope. Tell him to call off that miracle, because all the bolts in the floor are just breaking and ripping out. But I guess if I have to, I could cut them off. I don't want to open the can of worms too large. It's a damn shame nobody had invented the throttle cable yet, apparently. Let's make a bar that's 7 feet long instead. Yeah, see that rod in there? That's the throttle. Got a little notch cut out for it in the radiator. Which, I mean, that's kind of nice, but shit. So it's either trying to unbolt this, which, yeah, maybe we could disconnect it from the carb and get enough wiggle out of it that we could get around it. I'm gonna try that first. Getting that to move just a little bit and loosening these two bolts. I was able to get just enough out of it. We can get the radiator out without destroying everything. This looks to be an excellent time to do a water pump as well. I'm not like super confident that this radiator's any good. We should compare it to the one that was in the bed. It may have been in the bed for a reason. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Well, that's how somebody got it around that damn throttle linkage. Well, as long as they didn't tear it up too bad. We'll fill it with water, see what it looks like. I just realized that the mounting is opposite on that one for some reason. Similar, but opposite. It could probably be made to work. I'm wondering if that's for the one with the big 6-cylinder, whatever it was. Let's preemptively inspect some stuff up here. Ooh. And no thermostat, so somebody might have been fighting overheating problems. Oh boy. I hope this is a good motor, because I really don't want to put one in through the door. That would be great. Oh, there it goes. It don't look too terribly bad in there. This thing's definitely smoked. It's almost seized. I gotta get that nipple out of there. Nice. It's not very good shape, but she'll do. She'll do. There it is in our new water pump. What a cute little thing this is. It's aluminum too. It's for speed. We're trying to reduce weight, you know. We might do 0 to 60 in general. However, before I throw this on, I think running a garden hose through this thing just to do a really basic flush, probably not a bad idea. We'll do that, and the radiator, thankfully it's warm enough we can do that now. Let's try to get some super clean in there. Let that chew on it. That's basically radiator flush, right? No, not really. Yeah, just simply bring the garden hose into your truck and begin cleaning the engine. Normal procedure. There it goes. This is actually working pretty good. I see green coming up, so it must be doing something. I don't see anything weird coming up. No flaky stuff, and I don't know. Surely you'd think it would kind of float it back up, and maybe I'd see something. How about our radiators? Start with the quote-unquote good one. See what comes out, you know. Oh, ooh, it's full of stuff. I'm gonna fill up the super questionable one and try to block it off and let it fill. Oh yeah, it's already leaking. It's spraying right out of it. Okay, that's junk. Well, scratch this one. Let I plug her up. We need a radiator. I got an aluminum radiator on the way. It was probably cheaper to buy that than to have that one fixed. So I'm sure it's a real high quality unit. We're going to be waiting on a radiator. That's okay. We got a lot of other things we can do in the meantime. Let's get our super cute little water pump installed here. Isn't it just adorable? That's the wrong bolt, dummy. No, it's not. That's the right bolt, dummy. You guys argue with yourself when you're working on your car, or am I just completely insane? Much better. Well, I wish I was brave enough to pull these sides off, but I'm not. I think I can get to this fuel pump without doing it. This is not the greatest location for this. I'm really tempted to go clicky-clack. I'm going to move this coil out of the way so maybe I have a chance at getting to it. Everything is so sharp. Ow. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, I was afraid for a second there that I had to pull this side off just to get it out. It looks like a pretty damn new fuel pump. I just kind of assumed it would be bad. I mean, it's an old fuel pump, but it's a newer old fuel pump. Stinks. Anybody ever seen quality like this from Precision Fuel Pumps? From O'Reilly? That's... Why is that there? I guess it makes it more straight. It looks more like the original with this piece. What in the ghetto is this? But wait, there's more. Note how the old one has a flare fitting inside of it, and this one has nothing. How convenient. Boy, I sure do love buying fuel pumps from them. Oh, and the fittings are on the wrong side. The hits just keep coming. I wish you could just buy a fuel pump that would fit anything and work, but you can't these days. Let's see if the old one's got any life in it. I'm going to try to fill it with brake clean, and we'll see if it pumps. Not supposed to blow out of that side. Why are you doing that? Why is it backwards? We'll see what the filter looks like. Oh! Huh. Huh. Yikes. Dude. That's bad. No wonder it wasn't pushing anything through. Maybe, I don't know, I'll clean it up, see what happens. I took the filter, seal, and hopefully the whole damn can off of the new Chinesium fuel pump. No, they can't even make the threads right. Alright, we'll just use this can, but at least we got a new filter. Okay, now we can see if it works. I am 6-cylinder. It's filling it, but it still ain't pumping. It's trying, maybe I just can't do it enough. Try to get that baffle wet, maybe. There it goes. Had to prime it. So, I mean, it's mounted upside down anyway. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. It's mounted upside down, dumbass. Of course. Yeah. It works. I'm an idiot. Okay, I should probably cut that, but I won't. I believe this fuel pump has been refurbished. I'm getting the pump on, but to put the rear bolt in there, it's a lot easier to do it underneath, I've found. It's not ideal, but it is somewhat accessible under here. Also, I think I just realized why there's a drag link in the bed. Looks like someone threw a chain around this one and bent it. I mean, it's not the easiest thing to work on, but it is doable. It's just crappy enough to make you mad. Well, I got the fuel pump on. I was just about to put this line back on, and I guess it ain't quite kinked, but it's close. We may want to do something about that, but honestly, better leave it out of the way. I am going to put a valve cover gasket on this, because you can tell it has been leaking. On a normal car, I really wouldn't care. You know, that's something you could do anytime, but something like this, I feel like if you were burning a bunch of oil in there and it was smoking, you might die. Maybe we just go ahead and replace it now. But before I tear into that, I'm going to run new battery cables on it. They look pretty rough. I think that'll help it crank a little faster too. But before I do that, I am going to just quickly clean up some of the stuff we have off of it. The fan, the pulleys. I'm not going all in. You can't even see the engine, so I'm not like super worried about it, but we may as well clean what we can for now. Brand new. Brand new. Brand new. There we go. Let's see. Yeah. Probably due for some new cables. Hopefully I've got some. That's going to help this thing crank a lot. Switch cable is installed. Now we need battery cables, and they don't look like they're in much better condition. Cool little bulkhead thing there, though. That's interesting. Let me get those swapped out. Then we'll probably do a valve cover. And then I did get a new radiator. This is for a 65 Mustang. So it's not exact, but it's pretty damn close, I think. That should work. That should work. What do you stink like? Phew. It kind of smells like crap. I want to get this valve cover off of here. That's going to give us an indication of what the engine looks like inside. I think it's probably okay, but worth a peek. Put a new gasket on it, clean it up. This is just getting progressively more uncomfortable in here. Come on. Ooh. Oh, it's wonderful. Actually, it isn't that bad in there. I've seen way worse. It's got use on it, but it's not anything bizarre. Might as well clean up the breather and the valve cover. I don't have any orange, but I think I have some blue, and that'll be good enough. Always thought the blue and gold goes pretty good together. Look how good that freaking thing cleaned up, man. If it wasn't for the bare metal spots, I'd just leave it alone. It looks like brand new. What? God dang it. Trying to use up whatever I got left over. I think these two cans might work. Oh yeah. Our valve cover's looking very nice. And I figured I might start to put the new radiator in, but it is much too wide for the hole. It's just these flanges that rub, though. The radiator itself fits pretty well. I'm just going to trim each one of the flanges on either side about 1/4 inch, and I think it'll fit. It's close. It's that damn throttle rod again. Cut that whole corner off. That ought to work. It's bolted in there with 2 bolts. Good enough. And one of the bolts is a U-joint axle strap that's, yeah, it's just kind of poking that way, tighten down, pinching it. What could go wrong? It'll be fine. I have to figure out what kind of lower hose to put on it. It's weird and you can't buy one. I was able to get an upper right there, so that's easy. Perfect. Yeah, loop them right together. Today's video is brought to you by AG1. I love AG1. You guys have heard me talk about it a lot. Jess and I drink it every single morning, and it helps us both with our gut health and energy levels throughout the day. AG1 has probiotics in it, which really help out your digestive tract. If you're someone like me who doesn't take care of themselves the best, and maybe doesn't have the best diet, I figure it's gotta help, right? And at least from my personal experience, I can tell you it really has helped out my movements. If you scan this code or click the link in the description, you can save $20 off your first subscription to AG1. It supports your energy levels, it supports your immune system, it just, it just helps overall. Thanks to AG1 for sponsoring today's video. Please scan this code, check the link in the description, give it a shot. That's the best I can tell you. I really think you're gonna like it. We're back in the saddle today. I got a new gasket on that valve cover and got it installed. Actually, looks pretty nice in there, even if the engine's grimy. You just kind of look at the valve cover, it looks good. We need to figure out a lower rad hose. So I've been digging through my plethora of random hoses, trying to make something work. It's got 1.25 inch fittings on it, and it's kind of tough to find, but I do have some stuff. I kind of hoard everything. Surely there's something in here I can use. I found this hose. I cut it in half. I flipped it around. You can see the stickers on this end of the bottom now. And I think if I can just connect it together with like a piece of pipe or something, I think we can make this work. We can get these attached like this. I cut it flat on this bend here. Something like that will work. Now we just have to go find a piece of tube 1.25 inches in diameter. Sure enough, so we just took down the trampoline we used to have in the backyard. JD don't use it no more, so these are the like uprights for the net that would surround it. They're 1.25 inches outside diameter. Perfect. Perfect. Now, unfortunately, I'm about 3 inches short on my next roll cage. Damn! I'll go ahead and get one end of it installed, and we'll try to put it in the truck. There she is. I just got it installed just to make sure it fits, and it does. It don't rub anything. It's great. I'm gonna pull it back out, make sure I clamp it together real good, and that's done. My buddy Mortsky told me to put a couple spot welds on there to hold it on better, so I didn't do that. That would be dumb. You know, this is the kind of thing that separates the people who will survive the end times with the people who won't. Let's fill her up. I think we're good to go on the cooling side of things. I'm gonna get a funnel, or I'm gonna make a mess. I always forget I have this funnel. It's very nice. We had a little leak on the thermostat housing. And I was like, oh, I'll just snug it up. And then I snugged it up, and then the thermostat housing broke. So that's pretty cool. Well, I see why it was leaking. The thermostat had fallen down in it. There's no recess in the block to hold the thermostat. It just has to somehow magically fit. But, yeah, I tightened it. I didn't even tighten it that much, so it must have been pretty close to snapping. I'm going to have to order one of those. Well, I got her up in the air. I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow to get a new thermostat housing. I should have a new fuel cell coming at some point. That'll finish the fuel system, minus carburetor, but we'll just see how bad it is or what we need to do there when we get there. Let's get these center lines off and see what we have for brakes. Itty bitty little things. Huh. That's something. It's one of them see-through brakes. They're really ahead of their time with these. I'm gonna guess that's why there was a drum in the bed. But that's okay, all the other drums are here. If we're gonna be smart about this, I should start with the master cylinder. Look at that bit of genius here. Oh my god. Oh. Probably looking at all new lines. How do you unbolt this? Is it just that? Oh, what fun we're gonna have with this. Oh boy. Why does it have Delco horns on it? Get off. There it is. What a goofy ass thing that is. Conveniently, the truck came with a new master cylinder and 4 new wheel cylinders. Pinch bleed this thing before we throw it in the truck. Come on now. There it is. It's in here pretty good, but I'm missing the bushing for that. It will not come out of the old one. So we're just gonna make a new one. There we go. Nothing a little bushing tape can't take care of. Got this nailed down. We're gonna have to make some brake lines, of course. I cleaned up the original brake line switch and the factory T here. I think they're probably functional. It's all good to go. It wasn't as bad as I had feared. I think the next step here is to see if there's anything in these brakes. It doesn't really seem like it. Oh, well, isn't that great? I don't think I have any hardware for this. I better order some. Well, we got hardware in this one at least, and it looks really nice, actually. The drum is in really good shape. In fact, both the front drums are in very good shape. I got soaking in some super clean now to get the grease out of them. And we know we have hardware in this one, for sure. And this one feels like it's probably got hardware in it. In fact, I don't think it's ever even been off. These are the factory keepers. Keep the drum on it while it's going down the assembly line so it doesn't fall off and fall on your noggin. Yep, that one's all there, looking good. So we're only missing one entire brake. I mean, really, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. That's what Meatloaf said. Well, it won't be stuck on the hub, that's for sure. Okay. Come on now. That's a wall hanger there, man. I think I put my portrait right in the middle. Majestic. I need all new hardware for this one. Most of it, anyway. I got that coming. It should be here this afternoon, I hope. But if it isn't, we may as well get to work on something else. Side note, I got the new water neck installed, and it actually holds coolant now. The old one was so corroded, it wouldn't hold that thermostat in. I think that's why it kept trying to fall out on me. Sorry to go all sporadic on you with this, but since I'm waiting on brake hardware anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and work on a fuel system. I got one of these cheapy Amazon fuel cells here. This is a 15-gallon one. They're like $150 or something. This one came with some hose and fittings. That's why it was more. Yeah. Huh. Ah. There's the old fuel tank straps, you know. One buys. They were the organic variety. They were known to rot. And I'm going to have to cut a hole in the floor so that I can put the sump of the new fuel cell through it. Oh, this is delightful. Now, I did find some brake hardware in this pile. I could dearly use the little thing that the shoes rock on. You can't really buy that. As you can hear, JD has the mini Jeep going. Here's that sump. We gotta get that below the floor or lift the fuel cell up. Somebody just threw a big old piece of plate. This is all plate. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's strong. It seems to be welded in, sorta. No, it's just sitting on it. Why did I buy this? We're free and clear, I think, if we cut a hole somewhere over here-ish. Like that was gonna make a mark. I don't know what I was even thinking there. I guess it ain't all bad. At least I don't have to feel bad about cutting a hole in the floor. I believe our fuel system is excellent now. We're gonna go ahead and attach this to the floor with the Lord's fasteners, self-tappers. Why? Well, mostly because I'm lazy. I mean, it's not gonna go anywhere, right? You know it's good when it pulls the floor up to the fuel cell. That's how you know you got a really good one. That ain't going anywhere. Let's give her a real quick oil change and then see how it runs. Taking a break from the norm here, and I'm going cheap, doing Rotella. You can always tell how confident I am in a vehicle, or an engine at least, depending on what kind of oil I put in it. That's a tip for you viewing at home. That's not the easiest thing in the world to put gas in, but what it lacks in convenience, it makes up for in charm. I hope it's not pouring out on the ground. I don't really have a way to know. Let me just take a look. Yeah. It's fine. Now we still haven't done plugs or wires or anything like that, so don't have your hopes too high here, but maybe we can kind of get a feel for it. Nothing good yet. No accelerator pump. Let me put a jumper to the coil and see what happens. This is going to have a resistor bypass circuit, so when you're cranking on it, it sends 12 volts to the points to start easier, and it sounds like it may only have that circuit right now. Now 12 volts is bad for points long term, but it'll work for right now. Well, that sounded decent. That's definitely our problem. It's got somebody's put an ignition switch in it. I'm wondering if it's maybe the wrong switch, or I don't know, maybe, hopefully something stupid. That would be good. Something easy? It won't be. What about the carburetor? What do we got here? We still got nothing. It's probably all full of crap. More than a simple beating is going to take care of, that's for sure. I got the carburetor off. Easy enough. I think I just realized why it no work. So here's the throttle linkage, right? There was nothing attaching it to the carburetor. That'll do it every time. But I guess we'll have to figure out some kind of linkage. Find myself at a little bit of an impasse here because, I don't know, who knows? This thing might be okay. I had already bought, preemptively, one of those cheap Amazon carburetors. The little 1-barrels, they can make these, and they usually work pretty good because they're simple. And I could rebuild this, but O'Reilly doesn't list the kit for it. That'll bolt right on. I'm going to try that. And then we're going to have to make a linkage for it. And then we're going to try again. And if this runs like crap, then I will do the work to figure out what kit I need to buy here. Blows my mind that they don't list a Holley 1-barrel kit. It's the same carburetor they put on Mustangs and everything else. If I was smart, I would have used the powers of YouTube to get some of this Chinese garbage sponsored. But I'm not, so I paid for it all out of pocket, as usual. I want to see how this thing runs before I commit to making it actually function with the vehicle. Why is the blower motor on? Oh my god, everything's on! What did I do? Oh! Okay, I gotta show you this, because now everything's working. Off camera, I was kind of looking at this ignition switch, right? And I'm like, isn't this the power for everything? And yes, it is. Yes, it is. Maybe we don't need that jumper wire anymore. Pumping anything over here? A little bit. Still got something up with the coil wiring, but that's all right. We'll get her figured out. Jumper wire back installed. Boy, that runs really good. Doesn't smoke. That's good. mad about. Damn it. It's not the happiest. Hey, I got it a gear though. I'm not sure why it's being so mad. Are you flooding out? Oh, hell yeah. I think the shifter linkage freed up. More or less. Woo! Alright, burned off a little bit of crap. Good news, transmission works, kinda. It works more than it did before. It runs okay. Idle is weird. It could be that carburetor. I have a plan to make a rod to connect it to the throttle linkage. So I found a piece of rod I had laying around that had 2 cup ends on it. However, they are fine thread. Well, a carburetor stud is just about the right length to go on there. Bend it, you know, and we can make this work for sure. But it is coarse thread, 1/4 So we're going to run a tap into our ball ends here. Turn them into 1/4 threads, roughly. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but it's not exactly precision stuff here. We'll be able to thread them onto here, cut, shape this however we need it to fit, and it'll work. Trust me. Trust me. Very precise machining going on here.
Threads right in.
Sure does. And that is how I don't spend money. There is our masterpiece. We gotta hook it to this little arm down here. Inside there, I've got a ball pivot we can bolt into the arm. And when you push this, this travels this way, and then the carb goes up and down. Just a bit of a bend there to kick it up to the carb. Put it in my bending machine here. Yeah, something like that maybe.
Yeah.
That's going to get it pretty close. A little more of a bend, get it closer to the carb, and then we'll have to shorten the end of it. I have to put it in the advanced bending machine over here for more of a bend.
Yeah, better angle.
There we are.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
It works pretty good.
Yeah.
Behold, that is the sum of my fabricating ability. That is all I can do. While I got you out here, let's see if the clutch works and stuff.
Okay.
You go watch the axle over there. That needs a spring.
Yeah.
Okay. We need a return spring on that.
It moved for a second.
I pushed the clutch back in.
Okay.
So the clutch works.
Cool.
Alright. I didn't want to keep going like that, but we definitely got all the carbon blown out of it. That's good. Been messing around with it this morning. I figured out why it was sticking full throttle. That is the return spring in here. And it was hooked down there and getting caught and holding it full throttle. So I just hooked it to the grill. Now it's angled up out of the way and it works really good. And with that, I deem the engine side of things good enough for now. I don't want to mess with the wiring until it's back on the ground. It's kind of hard for me to get up into this thing the way it is. Let's go ahead and do brakes. Let's get that done. That way we can put it back on the ground. Then we can get back to wire. That's just the way it goes, guys. You bounce here and there and there and there, and then you have a truck. I cleaned up the wheel cylinder pins here. We'll put those in. And I bought, well, everything I could think of for hardware. They didn't list hardware specifically for this, but I ordered some for some other Ford brakes that I'm pretty sure is the same. That is a brake adjuster kit. That's everything you need. It's like $6 for that hardware kit. Yes, that is a hardware kit. Now the only difference is I'm pretty sure that is a Mustang drum brake. I know the rear is. However, the rear is assembled, so that's not really the problem. But I'm pretty sure that is a 10 by 2.5 inch Mustang V8 drum brake. So I'm comparing the hardware kits I just bought with the hardware on this brake. None of them match, but this one is somewhat close with the exception of whatever that spring is. That spring seems to be different. It does seem to have all the other springs, I mean, relatively the same. Then I have this hardware kit. This is very light duty stuff. I imagine it's for the back. And then I have this hardware kit. And mind you, I don't remember what any of this is for, of course. It's very helpful of me to not remember that. This one doesn't resemble it at all. The only difference is this spring looks weird. But I don't see why I couldn't use one of the longer springs out of here, hook it to that hole, and then just do the same thing, just like you would normally do a brake. This is about the best I can do. I know I'm missing some stuff. Mostly that little rocker arm here that, I don't know, it kind of keeps them squared, but I don't think that'll be a huge problem. I had to use the original nails that we found in the bed of the thing last night. They were the correct ones. This isn't something I would normally do, but I've been soaking these. It's super clean because the grease in them was just so coagulated I couldn't hardly get it out. And did a good job of cleaning up the hub. However, we still need to clean the drum. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it in my brake lathe. Not perfect, but you know what the best brake lathe is? The car it's going on. Couple good hard hits of the brake, smooth it right out. Or it'll wear the shoe to match. Either way, we win. The original wheel bearings were gross, but they are in really pretty good shape still, so we'll just pack them with some fresh grease. There we go. Good to go. What the hell kind of undercoating is this? Is this roofing like tar? Clearly, well, you know, I was going to say it didn't work, but it actually kind of did. Because the only thing that's solid has that on it. The frame rails of this thing are like brand new. And they are coated in this. Is that like Air Force stuff? Uncle Sam trying to get more out of their investment? I don't... Covered the freaking brake lines in it? Well, unfortunately on this side we did have one screwed up bearing. It's bent pretty badly, actually. I dug around in my pile of crap, and I had a brand new Timken bearing that just happens to fit this. If I had to guess, it's for a Mustang or something, but whatever, I'm not going to argue with it. I finished cleaning up the rest of the hub hardware back here, and then I'm going to slam that together, and it's on to rear brakes. Just for reference, in case you were confused, the thing I had to rig on that left front brake is this spring is different. I hooked it over here and ran one up there. That really should be okay. And also, see that this little guy here, he's got the two arms. Now he centers the shoes. It keeps one shoe from being able to hop up. This one's actually installed upside down, I think, but they're not super critical. That matters if something goes south, you know. Otherwise, it's all right. And our drums are all assembled. The random drum in the bed. That's a dead ringer for it. Looks good. Jumped up and bit me a little bit. You'll have that sometimes. Now we get to do my most favoriteest thing ever. Doing brake lines. Made a little bit easier by my SUR&R brake flare tool. This is not a sponsored product, but I love this thing. Look them up. It makes life so much easier. I'm not going to go too deep into making brake lines, but pro tip, it's way cheaper to buy it on Amazon. I got that roller tube and a little assortment of fittings here. It's enough to do this whole truck for 20 bucks for all of that. Rinse and repeat a lot more times. Well, every brake line in the truck is now brand new. I just made all 5 brake lines, every single one of them, including the big old long one front to back. I don't have my watch on, but it less than an hour to do all 5 brake lines. It cost me $20 with the Amazon brake line and fittings. That freaking flare tool, man, game changer. Game changer. Not sponsored, but I'm kind of working on it because they got other tools I want too. I got JD here to help me bleed brakes. This one will be real handy because you can keep it full of fluid too.
Oh yeah, from the inside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got that nice little access port there. All right, pump them up. Hey, We already got fluid.
Good.
Alright, again. Get the topper off and we'll keep on working around. What do we got? Oh, hell yeah. See that drum moving? Them are good brakes. Well, now we got brakes. I think I'm going to go ahead and change that drag link just because it's a little bent. I guess we'll use the one that was in the back of the truck. Looks like it's in okay shape. If we can come up with a couple of tie rod boot ends, would be alright. At least it looks relatively easy to get out of there. Get the pickle fork. Well, that was way too easy. Probably was due. I think I saved the boot. I did. Aha! Tie rod boot. You know, there's something different about that old one. I can't quite put my finger on it. I think the last thing I gotta do before I put it back on the ground, let's get some new tires mounted up. I dig the center lines. I think these are cool. So those will work. But the tires are pretty shot. To replace them, I had these delivered. They are really cheap, crappy Aerosoon tires. I went a little bit taller, 205/70, so maybe it looks a little beefier. And they were like $58 a tire. How could I say no? And I will, of course, mount them up myself to save a buck. Well, I can get the tire on there easy enough, but I cannot, for the life of me, get this bead to seat. I mean, it's only a 7-inch wide wheel. I don't understand why it looks like this. Maybe because of these super cheapy tires. They're so flexible, and I don't know. I've tried ether. It ain't going. I took the money I would have spent at the tire shop and went and bought me a bead blaster. I'll be damned if it didn't work. I didn't film it because I didn't think it was going to work. So if I have to again, I'll show you that one. Okay, yeah, this one's fighting just the same. Now, how I figured it last time, you got to give the tire a constant supply of air and then bam it. Yeah. Fire in the hole! Freaking awesome. How have I lived without that? We got all new rubber. And I didn't have to pay for it, but I did have to buy a bead blaster. But I have a bead blaster. I'm going to put some center caps in here, and these are off of that yellow Torino station wagon I drove home from Las Vegas. You know, very few people watched that video. Please watch that video. I've kept them around, hauled them all the way home from Las Vegas, because I can't let anything go. They'll be perfect on this. Oh, that's that perfectly turned drum that we did. That's fine, don't worry about that noise. It's normal. Oh, that looks so much better. Yeah, just a touch more sidewall makes all the difference. And center caps. Cool. We still got to try to figure out that wiring issue. Well, with the, coil not turning on. That's a bit of a problem. And that carburetor, super questionable. We'll see what we can do about that. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the little thing, though. We got snow moving in tomorrow somehow, and it's 80 degrees currently, so that's nice. JD's gonna help me out today. Why don't you take a pile of license plates like I've done here and repair everything, you know? Make sure it's really good.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody sent me all these Ohio license plates. They'll be perfect. They're red, white, and blue because they're patriotic. That Amazon carburetor, I'm blaming the running problems on it. I'm going to go ahead and rebuild the original. I did get a kit for it, or at least I think I did. Do that back here. This is the Ford 1100 one barrel. There's a Holly version and a Ford version. This one's the Ford version. As you can see in here, it's pretty gross. I wouldn't say it's beyond redemption, though. Accelerator pump diaphragms are in here. Yep, that diaphragm is kind of dried out, just a little. Got enough license plates?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Structural integrity restored. I'm going to soak the top half of this carburetor while I work on cleaning up the bottom half of all this gum in there. I mean, that's what happens when they set. Naphtha or acetone works just fine. Hell, gasoline works fine. Naphtha is just boiled gasoline, more or less. so it'll cut that varnish really well. Well, I've done about the best I can for her with a quickie half-ass rebuild. Really, this thing should soak in an ultrasonic cleaner for about a day, but we don't have a day, so it all looks pretty good. The only issue I ran into is that this kit's needle and seat was actually completely wrong, but everything else was right. One thing to note, there's 4 check balls in one of these carburetors. You got a check ball with a counterweight here for the accelerator pump, another check ball here, another check ball here, and a check ball down in here. Just make sure they go back. They're all the same size. I hope. Hey, luxury.
Yeah.
Especially that one.
Oh yeah, this one's good.
I can't wait. My back. Oh, it's gonna love that. Now it looks like I didn't do anything at all, so that maybe that's better. How's that?
It's all right. If you see, come over here. Here, I can show you. See that? It's really good.
Oh. So we're trying to figure out the wiring issue. It ain't gonna happen. Something's chewed up between here and, I mean, just look at that mess. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take power right out of the back of the ignition switch here and run it to a Mopar ballast resistor that will mount over here somewhere, and run that to the coil, and then it'll work just fine. It'll still be resisted and the points won't burn up. We're waiting on that, so in the meantime, why don't we go ahead, jump it out again, and we'll see if our carburetor runs any better. Nothing yet?
Nope, nothing yet.
See if my miracle fuel pump died.
Yeah, it works.
Okay, hook her back up.
We primed it.
Sometimes they end up deadheading and they don't like to pump through that. That's a lot better. We're still waiting on our ballast resistor. However, figured we'd try to look into the shift linkage. Now, she goes into first and reverse, no problem, it seems like, but when I got JD in there, and it first and reverse works fine. You can see right now, it is attached to the shift tube. It's moving the whole thing. Now, the second and third arm, though, it's not locking in there, and there's a mechanism inside of that little sleeve there that when you push forward on the shifter, it moves inside of that tube and then gives you second and third control. It's there, but something's jacked with it. Now, I can't find any information on this. I've got my Chilton's manual out here. It's a 1965 Chilton's manual. However, it shows that, which is similar, but this is like for a car, 3-speed. And there's no specific adjustments for the Econoline, and I don't think it lists the Econoline separately. It doesn't, so really you would need a manual for this. I don't think our adjustment is too far out of whack, because on pretty much every 3-speed 3 on the tree, when it's in neutral, these arms should be parallel to each other, and they are. It looks fine, and the shift lever on the column looks like it's in the neutral position. There's something wrong here, and it's not the bushings on these arms. They're not bad, but I kind of wonder, it's either the 2-3 shift arm is wore out, or the whole thing is wore out.
It's seated in, and then I move it in, then it pushes it back out.
Yeah, it just slips out of the column.
Yeah.
So it's either the arm or that little intermediate bushing there. You want to know something that we're absolutely not going to be able to find?
That?
I'm going to loosen up the rods on the transmission.
Okay.
Just the 2-3 rod. Maybe we could shorten the throw enough that we could at least
get it into second.
Yeah, maybe. This is the 2-3 rod here. This is the reverse first rod, I think. Either that or we only have second and third. One or the other. Most standard 3-speeds that I've dealt with, the adjustment for them is on the base of the column up there, but I don't see anywhere to adjust it. Yeah, all right.
Second?
Well, no, it's moving the rod though. Unfortunately, it's moving both rods.
Trying to go into third.
It is trying, but it's still moving that damn one too. How about this? I'll go loosen them both all the way.
Okay.
And we'll just start over. The truck is in true neutral now. Does it look like neutral?
Yep.
Yeah, it does. Is it parallel?
Yep.
All right. We did move some stuff. First reverse still.
We've got no reverse.
Oh yeah.
No second.
No, it's not even moving. I don't know what to do here. I believe there's a snap ring here that holds it in, maybe, or something. And I frankly have no clue. And it's not a can of worms I really want to open. But there is a grease zerk on it. Maybe we could get some grease into it. I can't get anything into it, but if I could get a little grease in there, maybe that would pack it up enough that it would, you know, do something. I got something in there.
Nope.
We could take it apart and find out what's broken. Then we'd never get it back together. I think it's time to make it the next guy's problem. There we are. That's the good thing about these Econolines is, you know, they're very user-friendly. Very easy to access things. Yeah. It's very handy. Here's our Mopar ballast resistor. We're gonna mount it right here because you know what a ballast resistor loves, JD?
What?
You know what they love?
Heat.
Heat and vibration. They love it. It'll live forever like that. So put it inside the engine compartment. I expect a lot of praise in the comments, please, because I did not self-tapping screw that to there. And JD, what kind of bolt did I use?
The wrong type of bolt.
No, I used a carriage bolt, so it's flush mount over here so it doesn't stab you. That's called thinking ahead, being innovative. Well, now the points won't burn up immediately. Try it?
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, it's better, but also not. That accelerator pump ain't working right. It's adjustable. A little better.
Yeah.
We try to put a heavier spring on it up front.
Yeah.
Well, at least it shuts off with the key now. If we can get her to idle down a little bit, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Just stretch that screen door spring out. Yeah, man, that screams safety to me. Perfect.
Wait a second.
What?
Whoa. Be careful.
Okay, reverse. Good brakes.
Yeah, nice.
What is the horrible sound?
I don't know. Don't worry about it. Oh.
Whoa!
What was that?
You see how far it dipped
Yeah.
down? Is the weight in the back of this thing? It's supposed to have a counterweight behind the axle to keep it from doing that. I'm not wrong, guys, am I? Isn't it supposed to be like somewhere right around here? Damn thing flooded out whenever I did that. Did not have spark? That spark. Well, it did not flood out. I think that our accelerator pump died immediately, or maybe something got plugged up. I'm not sure, because it was working. Good now. All right.
Okay, let's go.
Here we go. Nope, no third. I don't want to try for second because second is reverse. So at least if I go for third while I'm messing with it, at least I probably won't destroy it as bad. First reverse works fine, man. It's just that damn coupler, or the forks or something. That's a shame because this little, it actually gets up and moves pretty good. Nope.
Yep.
Come on.
No, I don't think she's going.
It ain't gonna do it.
Let's just enjoy it.
It's cool. Hell, the speedometer works.
Oh, that's cool.
Temperature gauge works. Looks good. This is a cool little truck. Oh no, I accidentally fell in love with it. Here, look, Jess's plant thing fell off.
Oh yeah, let's get that.
There, we can load that up in our truck.
Leave her running though, because
Yeah.
brakes work good.
Brakes, dude, it's actually not bad.
Sounds really cool.
The lower motor works.
Oh, nice.
Got defrost.
I need heat.
Pull for heat. Huh. That's cool.
Oh, it's
What?
a wall.
Oh, that's right. I gotta be careful. All right, let's deliver it. It's a gutsy little 200. That's not that bad. I mean, I'm sure it's got like a 456 gear or something. It's got miles of clutch left. All right, we'll unload. I mean, come on. It's freaking awesome.
It does sound pretty good too. Ooh.
I see why you need that insulation.
Yeah. Just pops out of gear randomly.
Yeah. Man, I wish I could get third gear at least. You could get by without second.
Oh.
I think, what if it's not the accelerator pump? What if it's that fuel pump? Whew.
Dang, it's hot.
Damn. Is it?
Yeah, this is.
I don't know.
Ah, yes.
I think that fuel pump's dead.
Yeah.
No fuel. Alright, with it cracked, I'm gonna crank.
Deadheading. There. Don't do this at home. Alright.
So it's deadheading into it for some reason. Not getting in there.
I think something got stuck in it. I didn't get that carburetor totally clean. It's kind of like I rebuilt it in 10 minutes on the back of this. Not that bad. I'll try again.
Okay.
I think it would probably do it on pavement, but
Yeah,
I'm
it would.
sliding.
It's just sliding.
Yeah. All right, we got to go get a pallet. Third.
Was that it?
No, it's first. It felt promising, didn't it? Oh my God!
What?
What have you been doing down here?
You know, stuff.
Okay.
We need this elsewhere. Jess wants to build a compost pile. She needs a couple more of these. Pretty rotten, but it'll work.
Truck things.
Truck.
Is it weird to drive?
No. No, it's actually, well, it's not weird to me, but when I was at work, we drove a lot of them Cushman scooters. You sit just like this. So you drive around the plant on the scooter. This feels just like driving one of those. With a little more power. Look how good it fits in places though. Serious.
Yeah.
Like, it's super maneuverable.
Yeah, Jess wants to build some kind of compost thing for the garden. We got two decent ones, and that one, I think she can do it.
Okay, let's be reliable.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Well,
You know, this thing's kind of useful. We could totally drive this if it would just go into third. It's just not going to do it, is it? Damn it. I'm upset about it because
yeah, that's a good truck.
it seriously is.
Take it for a spin.
Yeah. Okay.
She's pretty torquey. It's all right. There you go.
It don't smoke. It don't do nothing.
Super weird.
It's weird.
this seat's way better.
Yeah. Oh, that's high. That's whatever.
They don't burn that clutch up. It's one of the only good things. Temp gauge look okay?
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Good. It's actually really comfortable in here.
Yeah.
If it was wintertime, you'd stay nice and warm, that's for sure.
Yeah, because of this. I just need to get used to it.
Yeah, it's a little different than that little tracer.
Yeah.
It's a gutsy little thing.
Yeah, if it just adds second gear,
Yeah. Well, this isn't really the road test I wanted, but
it works.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Got a couple of seats over here. Need to go throw in the scrap pile. I think we can shut it off now. Whatever was going on with it, I
think we fixed it.
yeah. It seems okay now. Like it actually runs pretty damn good now. Must have just been something stuck. Yeah, we could bury those in the scrap trailer. Don't tell the scrapyard though. Yeah, JD, just putzing this thing around.
Yeah.
I think I've had an idea. If one of you guys has the stuff I need to fix this, linkage arms, the shift tube, and the arms on the column, not the whole arm, that's okay. The transmission side is okay. I just need whatever's going on up here, like at the column. If someone had a whole column that worked, I'd buy it from you. If you got one, I'll buy it. I'll keep this little thing. If we could just get the parts, shit, it's probably a 15-minute job, and you got a good little truck. It's great. So it's just a matter of finding the parts. So I'll be on the lookout myself. But if, you know, I'm going to use my platform here to ask for your help. Stick her back here until we figure out what we're going to do with it.
Yeah, where the Dodge was.
Well, I guess that's it, at least for now. Like I said, if someone could help me out with the parts for it, or we could find them, I might just fix it, keep it. But if not, if you're interested in it, and somebody were to give me $2,500 cash for it, I'd take it too. Clean title. If you're interested, email me. Otherwise, we'll put her on the back burner, and I'll get to it eventually. I understand why they made this truck. It's
small, agile,
highly maneuverable. Like, this is a void in the market that nobody makes anything like this except for those little Japanese trucks.
Yeah.
Or like the Daewoo's or whatever. Those kind of fill that hole, but you know, come on, Ford, GM, Dodge.
Remake this.
Yeah, seriously, it would sell like hotcakes. This is as much truck as most Americans need. Yep. Right here. Right there. Hell, it's got a bigger bed than most.
It does literally have a bigger bed than most.
It's still got an 8-foot bed on it. You can fit a 4x8 sheet of plywood in the back of that truck, and you can haul a few of them. This would do everything you need it to do, and nothing more. Anyway, check out polebarnmerch.com. Get you a hat or a shirt. And we will see you guys next time on Pole Barn Garage. Also, you too can have a camouflage red PBG hat available at polebarnmerch.com.